Hey, this is Jack Downs with a brief tutorial about how to deal with video that has only sound in one channel. Sometimes I call this mono video. It's not really mono. I've got an example that's a clip here that came from practice from class. So we have this piece of video that was from our practice session, probably using the shotgun mic. Some of our shotgun mics only record audio in one track. I'll zoom in here so you can see a little easier. You can see that there is audio on one side of the stereo track, but not on the other side. Now, Movie Studio, in some of our earlier versions when we had the Platinum or the Pro version, they had tools within the program that would allow us to essentially combine those to make it one track that went to both speakers. How do we know it's not going to both speakers right now? Well, watch over here in the volume, our left-right volume. If I play through it, you'll see I'm only getting one side, not the other side, right? Okay, so that's the problem. So this is a good thing to do as soon as you notice it when you bring the clip into the program. What can we do? Well, we can use Audacity since we don't have the internal functions in this version of Movie Studio 16. So, but we have to get the audio out of there to use Audacity. Here's the other thing. If this was your own copy of the program, you had Audacity also, of course, you could link the program to Audacity and tell it to just open up this audio. But we can't really do that easily in the labs and so on because it would require you making a link between the two programs, and then as soon as this computer you went someplace else, that link wouldn't be there, so it's probably not worth doing that. It's probably worth seeing another way you can take audio out. So if I just take this clip and I'm going to go Project, Make Movie, and instead of using these features here, okay, I am going to use one of these features. I'm going to save it to my hard drive as we usually do, but instead of using one of these features, I'm going to use advanced options. I could first or later choose where I want it to go. Either way, this is where I normally do it. I'll click on advanced options and see I can do it here also. Same kind of place to navigate. And I made a folder called mono to stereo, and here it is. And I'm going to call this both channels, both chan MP3. Actually, I'm going to call this one mono because it's the original. So I'm going to say it's going to go there. Then I have to make a choice here. And I'm going to choose MP3 audio. I could choose a wave audio. So there's a number of audio only formats here. And I'm going to make sure that I'm choosing CD quality. Okay? And I'm going to say render. It's going to take a moment. It doesn't take very long at all because it's just taking the audio out. And I'm going to open the folder. And there is my piece of audio, mono MP3. And I'm going to bring up my Audacity. Go back and grab that again. And I'm going to take my Audacity, I'm going to drop the file into Audacity. And here I can see it's the same piece of audio. All right, so what am I going to do here? I can also see there is like kind of a little bit of audio here, but it's not much of anything. Well, there's different ways I could do this, but the simplest thing to say is I don't really care about having two different stereo tracks. I just want this sound to go to both sides, left and right. So the simplest way to do that is to simply go to Tracks and say mix stereo down to mono. So it took both sides and jammed them together. It kind of like took an average of them. That's why it got a little bit smaller as a result. So that's okay. We can normalize it. I'm going to go to Effect, Normalize, and I think it's best to not go all the way up to -1 for this. I'm going to go to -3, which is similar to the audio in the program overall. You actually can normalize audio in Movie Studio, which another thing we'll take a look at in just a moment. So, but for now, I'm going to do this. And so I'm going to say OK. And I'm going to export it. And I might as well export it as an MP3 since it was an MP3. And this quality is going to be fine for our video. But I don't want it to go there. I want it to go to mono to stereo, but I don't want to call it mono anymore. Now I'm going to call it both channels. Both chan. So it's not like we really made stereo. We made mono that will go to both channels. And I'm going to save it. And whatever. All right, and that should be in there now. In fact, if I go and look at my file, I see now I have a both chan MP3. Okay, we're getting there. So I'm going to go back here, and I'm going to go bring this here, and I want to bring my both chan in. I'm going to drop it down here someplace. Good. So now essentially I have two copies of that audio. I have two copies of that audio. So I got to get rid of this audio. How do I do that? Well, right now, you know, these are hooked together, audio and video, because they came together and they're part of one unit. That's okay. I can remove from group. I'm going to, oh, hold on. Sorry about that. It looks like we are having a little problem with Movie Studio. Sorry, Movie Studio just had a little hiccup there. I think I need to restart my computer. But anyway, I'm okay for now, I think. So I've got two versions of this audio. So how do I get rid of this audio? I'm going to select this, and I'm going to go to Edit Groups. Grouping is how these things are hooked together, right? So I'm going to remove from group. Remove from. Now if I click off and click back again, I see I can select the audio or the video, but now they are separate. Once I separate them, notice that it's like showing it's not synced anymore. That's why it turns red and stuff. We don't care because we're going to delete that one. I'm going to stick this one in its place. Okay, sticking that in its place. So they should be lined up just like that. And now I'm going to group them. So I'm going to select them both. And I'm going to edit, group, create new group. And now, if I move these around, there we are. We've got audio and video together. And if I play through here, watch over here in the sound area, and play. Now we see we have the audio in both channels going out. So that's what you do if you end up with video that has audio in only one channel, to get it into become mono that goes to both channels. Last thing I want to tell you is, what do you do if you have some audio which is kind of weak? It's low volume in your video, but you don't want to go the route of taking the audio out to Audacity and fixing it and bringing it back again. Well, you could simply normalize it here in the program. Now this audio is fine now because we actually normalized it outside. So I'm going to use this audio, but just know normally the waveform, you'd be looking at a waveform that was very small and weak. So I would select the audio portion. I can see the yellow is around it. And I would go to Edit and Switches. And one of the switches is Normalize. If I choose Normalize, watch the audio, and it will get slightly bigger. There it goes. It was slightly bigger. Now, that was a very minor change here. But if you had very small audio, very small waveform, very small amplitude, that would be an improvement. Actually, I don't think I need it quite that big, so I'm going to do Control-Z. So we don't have quite the control we do, of course, in Audacity or something. And remember, if you bring up the sound you want, you also bring up any noise or stuff too. But that is how you can normalize within the program.